Hello everyone, once again this is Jeff Brady with your Bloomin' in the Branch segment for August. This is a short video piece where we offer tips, suggestions, and advice on how to keep your landscape green, whether it's trees or a vegetable garden or in this case your lawn. It's August, and so it's the dog days of summer, the hottest, driest time of the year, and everybody is concerned about what to do with the grass, how to keep it alive and prospering even in temperatures this extreme. So luckily, once again, we have Ben Solis here from the City of Farmers Branch, our park supervisor, with some expert tips. So Ben, here we are, dog days. I think the number one question for people is water. How much water on our lawns and how often?
Okay, so we're gonna stick with what we know, and that is water infrequently and deeply. And of course, it depends on if you're under restrictions in your area, and if you have a sprinkler system, if you're having to water by hose. But you stick with that main concept. And of course, it's not raining, so you just gotta, when you do put the water on it, go with that.
Okay.
You want to water about 6 inches deep, but you may not get to that point. And if it's already turning a little yellow or brown, depends on what you have in your yard, what variety.
What type of grass?
Yes.
Yeah.
And in some cases it goes dormant. There's different varieties that go dormant and some don't. So you got to really pay attention if you have that list that doesn't go dormant.
So just to emphasize that, so when you say infrequently and deeply, you mean maybe twice a week?
If you
But
can,
on different days?
if you can, twice a week, but sometimes it's once a week.
It depends on where you live, right? And the
Yes.
watering restrictions
Yes.
of your city or municipality.
Right.
And by 6 inches deep, you mean the moisture should penetrate down 6 inches in the soil, right?
That's correct. Because really you're trying to get an inch of water down per week. And with this heat, it may not ever get to that 6-inch point. But that's ideal. So another reminder is, it really depends on the variety of grass that you have. Some of them, I'm going to go ahead and give you those names: Bermuda, Buffalo, and certain varieties of Zoysia. They'll go into dormancy.
So they're more hardy, they can survive the dry weather
Yes.
better?
And they can go about 8 weeks without water.
Wow.
So, or small amounts of water.
They'll
Of
look
course,
brown probably, won't look good, but they'll survive.
That's exactly right. They're going to turn yellow and brown, but as soon as the rains come back, they'll pop back up.
Okay.
They'll come back to life. Varieties that don't do as well are the St. Augustine, Centipede, and your tall fescue. So if you let those go too long, they can go about 3 weeks. If they go too long, they're not going to come back.
They're dead,
Pretty
and you
good
have to put
chance.
sod down to
That's
start
right.
with.
It's a
Okay.
pretty good chance they're not going to come back, and you will have to relay and replant.
So question number 2 is probably about the grass itself and how high you should let the grass grow when it's hot like this.
Right. So, depending again on the variety of grass that you have, really taking the mower and raising it as high as it'll go wouldn't be bad during this time.
And why is that better for grass?
So the taller the grass, you're actually going to use that grass to shade the soil to slow down the evaporation rate. So whatever water you are getting on it, that way it'll slow it down. And it's just going to keep it from getting those ground temperatures so hot that it keeps those roots.
Okay, so the tall grass kind of shades itself,
Yes.
shades the roots.
Shades the root zone.
Yep. Okay, got it. And question number 3 for this topic has to do with fertilizer. Should we fertilize when it's hot like this, Ben?
You should not fertilize. And the reason is you're going to get brand new growth. You're going to encourage growth. And you don't want that, because that new growth is going to be tender and it's just going to burn up. It's not a good time. It's a waste of money, and it's not going to accomplish anything for you. So wait till it gets a little cooler.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Ben. Once again, those are your tips to keep your grass green, hopefully alive during the dog days of summer. Just a couple of reminders. So when you're watering, water infrequently and longer, a little bit longer, to let the moisture soak into the soil. Secondly, let the grass grow tall when it's hot like this so that it can shade itself. And lastly, don't fertilize. when it's super hot, because you don't want those little sprouts coming up when it's so hot, because they won't survive. So those are your tips for August for Bloomin' in the Branch. Hope you've enjoyed it. Remember to tune in next time for another edition, and we'll see you then.